Hi, my name is Emily, and I've been asked by Travis to do a video talking about what it means to be a woman. So, what does it mean to be a woman? Is it that we have more feelings or emotions than men? Is it that we're more prone to drama? That we're more fragile? Or that there is no difference, that we are equal in men in every single way? These are all different ideas that the world tries to impose on us. But let's take a closer look at what it really means to be a woman in the eyes of God and the Catholic Church. So, first of all, we need to look at the nature of a woman from back when we were first created. We need to look at the story of creation, right? So, the creation story can be viewed at so many angles, and there's so much deep insight we can learn from it. But let's look at it from this approach. God started with the most simple things, light and dark, sky and earth, and slowly he painted the backdrop for the world. Then he added creatures like crickets and insects, and then moved on to birds and then mammals, and with each layer, each day, he had increasing complexity of the creatures he created. And finally, he created Adam, who was made in his own image, with a soul who could see right from wrong. But then, even after Adam was lonely. He wanted someone who he could share his soul with. He was the only one with that kind of intellect. Notice he didn't just ask for someone who looks like him. He wanted someone with whom he could share the responsibility of tending the garden with. And God gave him that in the form of Eve. Eve was the last thing he created, the one that was the most complex. So that right there should tell you what the essence of a woman is. It's beauty. Beauty and complexity in so many different ways. And this can also be seen in Adam's response to Eve. When he first woke up from the sleep, he looked at her and he said, "Whoa, man," right? Woman, where we get our name. He was in awe of her, not just her physical appearance, though, that she had an intellect and a will similar to his, yet very different in that it reflected God in a whole different way. The male reflects certain aspects of God, the strength, power, protectiveness, things like that, plus many more. The woman reflects God's compassion, his generosity, his empathy for others, and so much more. So we each have very separate, very unique and amazing ways of reflecting God. For the woman specifically, it is beauty. Beauty, and sisters, I just want to affirm for you that you are beautiful. You are loved. You are so amazing just the way you are. And no matter what has happened to you or what you've done, no one can take that away from you. That was given to you in the garden when God created Eve. That gift has passed down to all of her descendants and to you today. That gift of inner and exterior beauty. Please don't give in to the temptation that the world tries to tell you that you're fat or ugly, or if you're not good in school that you amount to nothing. We each have our own individual gifts, and every single person is different and reflects God in a way that no one else can do. There is nothing you can do or that someone can do to you that will stop God from pursuing you, because he sees the beauty that is in you. He created you in your mother's womb like a sculptor sculpts a pot of clay, right? Or like someone chips away at a marble statue. And he didn't make any wrong moves when it came to you. No, everything was purposeful and made perfect. Even the things you struggle with, even our trials, they were given to us to really show how beautiful, to really make us understand how beautiful we are, and to lead us to an even greater beauty that we will discover in heaven. So in our hearts, we desire these three things: to unveil beauty in the world around us, to share in a great adventure, and to be romanced. So the first one, to unveil beauty. I just described to you in brief detail the ways that make us beautiful. And one of our roles on this earth is to unveil the beauty in things around us, whether in nature, whether in the beauty of bringing a new life into the world, or just people in general. But we can't do that unless we understand deep within us that we ourselves are beautiful and deserving of love. We were not made to be solitary people, right? And most of us will end up sharing the adventure of the life on earth as a married woman. However, even if you're not married, even if you decide to become a sister, a nun, or live a holy single life, we are still called to partake in an adventure. Now, this can be seen in the world today, our inner desire for this can be seen in the world today by this huge push for equality, by the desire to have our voices heard, to be seen as equal to men and not be belittled or thought less of. And while this is 100% good, great thing, I want to point something out that, as I mentioned before, we are very different than men in the way we reflect God, in the way we think, in the way that we are. So we need to take that into consideration, that there are jobs in this world that men cannot do that we are called to do. One of them is being a mother, right? We have a special bond with our child that no one else will have by giving life to them and feeding them and caring for them for the first 9 months exclusively, and then after that through infancy, right? That is something so special, and I know there's a ton of single dads out there, and I want, by no means do I want to make less of your situation. I am sure you do an amazing job. I'm just saying that there are characteristics in us that we need to acknowledge that are there and not try to push them away. I know so many people that want to show that they're equal to men. They want to get the highest rank of job. They want to be a leader. They basically try to purge themselves of all feminine emotion just to prove that they can be equal to men. But sisters, we are equal to men in every way, but we are still very different. And because of that, there are different roles that we're called to fill. And I'm not saying women should not be in the workplace. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying we need to acknowledge the things that make us a woman and bring those with us wherever we go and recognize that we are different. And equality does not mean doing the same things as men, or wearing the same clothes, or playing the same sports, or even having the same job. Intellectually and in God's eyes, we are equal. And one example I can give you of this is when I climb trees with my brother. I am kind of a scaredy cat a little bit, and I have a moderate fear of heights. I'm also not very strong, so like a lot of things that kind of disqualify me from climbing trees. But because of his help, I'm able to climb them and experience a freedom in climbing them. He gives me a boost. He shows me the best hand and footholds, and then he climbs up behind me so that I can be safe and secure in the knowledge that he won't let me fall. And because of that, I can experience the freedom of climbing a tree like I never would before. But it's not like um, I'm not pretending that I don't have a fear of heights, or that I'm as strong as a man, I can do whatever I want kind of thing, or trying to one up or anything like that. I know these things about myself, I accept them, but I am making steps to conquer them, but I'm not afraid to ask for help. I want you to understand this. We are equal when it comes to climbing that tree, but we have different gifts. And he's told me this before, so I'm not making this up. He takes great pleasure and pride in teaching someone how to climb a tree. So he loves it when I climb with him because he can show me how it's done and give me all the help I need. I love climbing with him because I'm able to do it without any fear or hesitancy, and even climb trees that I otherwise would not be able to do. That's the way men and women work. We are equal. We can conquer the same goals, but doing it each in a little bit different way, complementing each other instead of trying to become the other. And the third thing is that we want to be romanced. And don't even deny it, I know everyone does. No matter what stage of life you're in, whether you've never dated, whether you've dated a ton, whether you're going to be a sister, a nun, or whether you decided to live a holy single life, we all have this innate desire to be romanced. But here's the thing. We all have the opportunity to be romance, no matter which one of those stages we're in, because the one person that we need to look to the most for that is God. God wants to be the pursuer, the romancer, the one that sweeps us off our feet. Even, and actually, maybe especially for married or dating couples, you have to understand that about God before anything else. That God wants to be that for you. And you won't find the same type of relationship in a man. Eventually, he will let you down. Eventually, there will be arguments, things like that. But whenever those come up, it's important to be able to return to God and realize how much He loves you, how much, no matter what happens, He wants to pursue you, He wants to cherish you and love you. That is the point that I want you to make is we have this desire to be romance, but better to wait for the right person than jump into all of these unhealthy relationships. And even more importantly, better to work on our relationship with God, to recognize that He's pursuing us, to pursue Him back, to call Him closer to us and enter into a deeper relationship so that when the human being, the physical person comes along, we will be ready to embrace that relationship because we already have it with God. I could say so much more about this topic, enough to fill so many hours, but this has given you the shortest overview that I can make it. Sorry if it was a little long, but I really want you to just rest with these truths, with these thoughts, and even if you don't feel God imprint them on your heart, consider them, ponder them, and think about them throughout the day. And you'll begin to see where He's showing up in your life. He's unveiling beauty through you. He's helping you along the adventure, and He is constantly pursuing you, giving you that romance that you long for. Thank y'all so much for watching, and God bless.